Hello, good afternoon, and thanks for joining us on the Pendulum, coming to you live on Lagos television. We are back as usual to discuss trending political issues in the country. I am Ajibola Ojeshola, and this afternoon on the program, we'll be looking at a whole lot of issues regarding the forthcoming 2027 general elections. We are all aware that INEC have revised the timetable for the general elections for the 2027 elections. As well, we also had the opposition party meeting to say that they will expect the Senate of the Federal Republic of Nigeria to further re-amend the Amendment Act of 2026 before the commencement of the 2027 general elections. We'll also be looking at the party membership registration of the African Democratic Congress, which is one of the major opposition party in the country. And our guest on the program today is the National Publicity Secretary of the African Democratic Congress, Mr. Bolaji Abdullahi. He will be joining us after this short break. So we'll go on a short break now to take trending news in the polity. We'll be right back on the Pendulum. You're still watching The Pendulum, our weekly political program on Lagos television. I did say before that break that our guest for the week is the National Publicity Secretary of the African Democratic Congress, ADC, which is one of the major opposition party in the country. And together we'll be looking at so many issues revolving around the Electoral Act 2026, the revised timetable of INEC, and a host of other issues relating to the 2027 general elections. It is my pleasure to have with us on the program today via Zoom, the National Publicity Secretary of the ADC, Mr. Bolaji Abdullahi. It's a pleasure to have you.
Good afternoon.
All right, good afternoon. Let's start from what the Independent National Electoral Commission chairman said at the town hall meeting, which was organized regarding the 2027 general elections, where he said that he cannot guarantee 100% perfection of the 2027 general elections. And of course, he alluded so many reasons for that particular statement. What is your reaction to that statement?
Well, I mean, when the INEC chairman says he cannot guarantee 100% success for the 2027 election, it's possible to think that he's just being honest, knowing that no human effort mean that he was communicating the structural deficiencies within the implementation of the practical deficiencies within the electoral process. But more importantly, beyond, we have to know what does 100% mean, because we are not asking for 100%. We are asking for him to guarantee that the election will be free, fair, and transparent. That is the minimum standard we expect him to commit to. And if that's what he's saying is not possible, then we will retreat our position that this INEC under Professor Abeputa is not able to conduct an election that will be an improvement on previous election. As a matter of fact, we have so strong reasons to believe that they are already laying the grounds for the massive rigging of the 2027 election. So putting numbers to it and saying that you will not be able to guarantee 100% success of the election, we need to go beyond that to ask, like you are asking me now, what exactly does it mean? What does 100% mean? And where does 100% stop? What is 50%? What is 70%? So we need to know what he's saying. Maybe he's telling us more than he would really like us to know about. Is he making a confession? We need to know that.
Okay, but like I rightly said, he alluded so many reasons for that statement saying that INEC will not be able to guarantee 100% perfection in the 2027 general election. And he cited an example of somebody trying to transfer money from a particular account to another account within the same jurisdiction. And ordinarily, it will show from your own platform that the money had been transferred, but the other person at the receiving end will not get that money on time. So, and he alluded that to the real-time agitation of the people about electronic transfer of results. Do you think that's justified enough?
Absolutely not. I mean, and that's what I said earlier, that it's like they are laying the ground for what they have concluded to do. They're just preparing the mind of Nigerians and trying to inoculate us for the kind of virus that they want to inject into the public space. Look, they know exactly what they were doing when the Electoral Act made that negative provision. When I say negative, it means that you made a prescription, then you negated it by saying that this is what the law expects us to do. This is what law says you should do. However, if you are not able to do it, then have you ever seen anything so ridiculous before? So INEC itself, all the previous leadership of INEC have come out to say INEC had developed long ago the capacity for immediate transmission of electoral results automatically. The National Communication Commission said the same thing about Nigeria's internet network penetration. So giving us an excuse to say, okay, network may not, when you send money, it may not go. But they said what is been clearly maintained is that the law, if the law had made electronic transmission of results the only means of transmitting results, then you have incapacitated those who want to use that discretionary loophole to rig the election. And what the previous INEC people say, what is everybody saying? Yes, there may be temporary disruption of network, as in the case of money transfer that you mentioned. But once you upload the result, whenever network is available, at the earliest time that the network is available, the results will drop on INEC. But it will also timestamp the time that you uploaded it. But this law allows for INEC officials to use the discretion on whether to, because what will happen in 2027 is that they will ensure that there is no network in any part of the country. And there is no law that says the law gives the INEC official the ultimate power to say whether there is network or not. So when he or she says there is no network, that has already provided the ground for them to use the Formisi rate, which of course is susceptible to tampering and to manipulation. Look, what we are saying is that the process that this INEC under Professor Anukwito is laying out for the 2027 election is not giving confidence to the opposition. It's not giving confidence to every Nigerian. And it is going to affect the credibility. Look, voter turnout continues to decline year in, year out. Why so? Because people no longer believe that their vote will count. So if we arrive at 2027 and voter turnout is as abysmal as it was in the last election, or in some off-cycle election where turnout is less than 5%, it is because of this kind of narrative that Professor Anukwito, unfortunately the man that we expect will do something differently, is now pushing, saying giving excuses for things that have been settled long ago.
Okay, recently major opposition parties in the country had a media briefing saying that they are outrightly rejecting the Electoral Amendment Act 2026, which was signed into law by Mr. President. Are there specific areas where you would want the Senate to adjust again before the commencement of the 2027 general elections? And why the outright rejection of the Amendment Act?
Thank you very much. I mean, we don't expect the National Assembly, this National Assembly, to do anything. But we must register our objection and our protest. And that for us, the Electoral Act 2026 is a weapon fashioned against the opposition. President Bola Tinubu does not want to campaign in 2027. And what they are preparing for is the coronation of President Tinubu as president in 2027. Why do we say so? We have been focusing a lot on automatic transmission of election results, and that's section 63. But section 74, if I'm right, is even more dangerous than Section 63. The section that requires that political parties can only use direct primaries or consensus to produce their candidate. If you know the meaning of that, you remove delegate election, which is the most objective way, the most manageable way. It is not perfect, but it is still the most manageable and the most objective way for selecting candidates within the political party. That is if we know the fundamental right of political party to decide what method to use to select their candidate. Now you are prescribing that political parties can no longer use delegate or indirect primaries. They now have to use direct primaries, which is, or they use consensus. What does direct primaries mean? Direct primaries means that every member of the party that is registered in that party in all the 36 states of the Federation must vote. It is only an INEC level capability that can carry out that kind of election, direct primaries. That is number one. Number two, the only option you say is consensus. What is the objective parameter for arriving at that consensus for an election that will come up in January 2027? So all these things are booby traps that are set in the path of, because APC does not have this encumbrance. They unanimously returned President Bola Tinubu as their candidate. So they don't have that selection process. They don't have to worry about that. But they know this will be a problem to the opposition. That is number one. Number two, the provision that says within the next 28 days or so, according to the INEC timetable, political parties must submit a digital membership register to INEC within the next 28 days that contains information that were not previously required in membership registration for political parties. Now, APC has started their membership registration since February last year, doing exactly what they are asking political parties to do now. They knew where they were going and they were ahead of everybody. They had information and they started their membership registration requiring all this since February last year. Now they expect other political parties to do within 1 month what they did in 1 year. And that is why the opposition political parties are saying, we are rejecting this. This is a coronation plan, a coronation manual for President Bola Tinubu. It is not free, it is not fair, and it is not transparent.
Okay, even with this rejection, can it hold water looking at the revised timetable already released by INEC? And I'm also aware that your party membership registration is also ongoing.
Yes. Yeah, I mean, we had already set our plan to do our party membership registration, only that we did not expect the detail, the kind of data that INEC is now stipulating, which in the new electoral, that is now in the new electoral act that we just learned. So, more or less, the Electoral Act 2026 had thrown opposition in cupboard. So we have to go back to the drawing table. So we have recalibrated, we have embarked on our online membership registration, and within yesterday and today, the registration, and even the online membership registration, you could see what is happening. The APC agents have been registering all kinds of people on our platform, right? So there's no problem. We expected all that. We have our own mechanism for validating all the process of the cleaning of the data. But that's what they are doing. And that confirms everything that we are saying. And what we are doing is without prejudice to our fundamental objection to both the Electoral Act and the consequent INEC timetable. And we are going to continue to review our position as we progress.
Okay, but for a party like the APC with 31 governors, why do you think such party will be afraid of any opposition?
It is surprising, the same question we are asking. If you say you have conquered the whole country and you have all these governors in your pouch, shouldn't you go and be enjoying yourself knowing quite well that with 32 or 33 governors in your PT, it's already a done deal? What's all these obstacles and encumbrances? Why take PDP? Why are you still holding on to the jugular of PDP? Why are you still asking the court to register the African Democratic Congress? Why are you still doing all this? Why are you doing this to all the opposition political parties? If you are confident, you see, one day know that the governors that they have brought into their parties did not join the parties out of their volition. It's a combination of threat and incentives that they are giving to them. Many of the governors are yielding to their own vulnerabilities, and they know the only place they can get cover is with the ruling party. No problem. But they also know that a governor in a party does not necessarily guarantee that election will be won in that state. In the last election, Governor Okowa was the sitting governor in Delta State, but PDP lost the election in Delta State. So he was even the running mate to Alhaji Atiku Abubakar. Yeah. And they lost. In Lagos State, controlled by APC, Labour Party won. In Ondo State, the same thing. So a governor in a party, all these governors that have done nothing but popularize their own people, can then guarantee anything that, okay, you have the governor, but do you have the people? So they know that, they know why the governors are joining them.
Okay, there was a particular issue you raised earlier regarding the abolition of delegate election. There have been accusations here and there that the delegate election kind of style is always riddled with corruption because delegates are usually bribed and so on and so forth. Is that not a flaw on that kind of system?
It is a flaw. I was the first to say that it's not perfect, right? But look at consider the alternative. The alternative is direct primaries, which is a nationwide election. Even INEC does not have the capability. The chairman of INEC just told you that he cannot guarantee 100%. So you expect a political party to organize a nationwide election within 2 months or so and produce a candidate. How is that possible? Then the only other alternative is consensus. How do you begin to engineer that consensus? When you have 3, 4, 5 people running for election, then you say you now sit there now and say you step down, you should go. So how do you reconcile everybody before the election that takes place in January? So they know the booby traps they are setting. But I have no doubt in my mind that we are going to overcome it.
Okay, so was the ADC or any of the opposition parties engaged in any kind of conversation with members of the National Assembly before this Amendment Act was signed into law by Mr. President?
Of course, I mean, you must have seen our members in the National Assembly vehemently rejecting. We mentioned one in particular, Senator Elina Abaribi, Senator Tambua, and Tikingide, and the rest of them. You could see, you saw our members in the House of Rep shouting. So our members rejected it. So we were vehemently opposed to it, even at that stage. And you could see the protests that happened in front of the National Assembly by our members during that period. But what they were doing is that, okay, the opposition will have their say, but we'll still have our way. So because the consensus among Nigerians is real-time transmission of election results on IREC. That is what Nigerians wanted. And they missed an opportunity to make history. Because if they had done that, Nigerians will have grown confidence in the electoral process, and you'll see that voter turnout will have been a lot improved, but they missed the opportunity. So it's not about crying foul after the day has been done. We've been making this point from day one. We've been fighting, we've been agitating, we've been mobilizing, but they had their way because they are in power and they do whatever they want to do. But we are saying that ABC will not be used to grant legitimacy to the charade that they are planning. We are continuing to review our position, and at the right time, we make our position very clear.
Okay, does this imply that now that the timetable is out, the ADC will not be part of the 2027 elections, in spite of all of these challenges put before it?
No, we haven't got to that point. That's why I say we are reviewing our options, and when we arrive at our position, we will make it known.
Oh, okay, Mr. Abdullahi, I want us to be very, very objective as much as we can. Looking at this government from head to toe, would you say that it's totally, completely bad?
Of course it is. I mean, there's no way to sanitize, there's no way to deodorize what is going on now. There's no euphemism that you can use to describe what is going on. Do you know at any point in Nigerian history that Nigeria does not have an ambassador in any mission in the world? 3 years in government. This is the first time. This is the first time. Has it ever happened before? The answer is no, not even during the Civil War. They went through the motion of nominating ambassador to the National Assembly, but have they posted one of them? One? They have not. I want you to tell me again, has there been any other time in our history that a government is implementing 3 budgets at the same time? 3 budgets at the same time. 2024 budget went unimplemented. 2025 budget that they have dragged moved to 2026, 34% capital, 34% implemented, and all that will correct, right? And 2026, 0 implementation. Local contractors are not being paid. Local contractors have not been paid. And this is a government that has borrowed more money than any other government in Nigerian history. The question is, where is all that money? Where is all that money? And they come and tell you, oh, inflation is going down and Nigerians are hungry. Oh, the economy is getting better, but we are wallowing in debt, we can't see what they use it for. They say food is getting cheaper, but all they have done is to destroy the agri sector completely in the country by looking for cooking and importing food. So all these things, we can go on and on and on. Look at, I'm not even talking about insecurity. People are dying in this country at an industrial scale level. The way that people are not even dying in the Middle East where there is an active war going on. So when you see all this, the question you ask yourself, tell me which Nigeria will want to continue what is going on now? Which Nigeria that is not part of this APC will want what is going on now to continue?
Okay, Mr. Abdullahi,
this time before.
Because of our time, we need to wrap up. What is it that your party will be offering Nigerians that is different from what we have seen before? Majority of your party members are either from Labour or PDP, and at one time or the other, they had the opportunity to make the country better.
I mean, everybody, I'm not here to defend anybody. People play their parts in different ways and to the best of their ability. But we are talking about institution. The kind of thing that is going on now has never been institutionalized. Now, what will ADC do differently? ADC will protect the people. ADC will not put revenue generation above the welfare of the people. ADC will not leave Nigerians hungry. ADC will know that when you remove fuel subsidy, you have to do something in return. ADC will know that the hardship that Nigerians will face when you remove fuel subsidy is multifold, and we will protect the people. We will make food available. We will make drugs available. The savings from fuel subsidy. Ask yourself, where is all that money? They say they are no longer paying subsidy, but where is all that money? Have Nigerians gone to the hospital and they find cheaper drugs as a result of the removal of fuel subsidy? Have they gone to the stores to buy food and they find cheaper food as a removal of fuel subsidy? So all these neoliberal policies will not happen under ADC.
Okay, Mr.
People have suffered enough, and they will also protect
Mr.
them, and
Bolaji
that's exactly what we will do.
Abdullahi, we must thank you very much for your time. We need to go now because of our time is fast spent. We thank you very much for your time, and we'll be looking forward to the kind of election that we are going to have in 2027. Thank you for your time once again.
Thank you very much, my friend. Thank you.
Okay, that was an extensive conversation with the National Publicity Secretary of the African Democratic Congress, Mr. Bolaji Abdullahi. And of course, it raised quite a number of issues on the INEC timetable, the Amendment Electoral Act of 2026, and the doubt on the part of the opposition as to the quality of elections that we are going to have in 2027. We'll be taking another quick break on the program now to bring you the soundbite of the week.
If they want to transmit the election electronically, right, it should be done in the right manner. If you can collect our money electronically, I think you should transmit the results electronically.
That your PVC is your power. If you want to have a change, go and get your PVC so that your complaint, you can complain through your ballots.
But I just try to tell the INEC to try its possible best to make we Nigeria to be happy, to do free and fair election in Nigeria. I don't care which party going to be, but I believe I need a better Nigeria.
There should be a free and fair election. At least let us experience it for once.
The way we are expecting it, that whenever we vote, the vote should be counted immediately and should be transmitted directly. But make it the way it doesn't favor us. We will vote, our vote will be counted, we will escort the vote to local government, to state, everything we do. We are going to defend the vote.
Election that is coming, there will be free and fair because most people have understand that Tinubu is trying. Especially me, I've understand that Tinubu is trying. He's trying a lot. Even self, in my village, I understand that the road they are doing now pass through our village. And that one can be a long way for our people. It's an opportunity for our people. So this electoral reform, everybody will come out to vote. I understand. And me too. I've not been having interest on voting before, but now I know there will be opportunities, an opportunity for me to vote, to support the going government. I know there will be change.
Yeah, let them just carry out the election free and fair. Let us have free and fair election. That is what we want, so that the right person can be there. We don't need somebody that will be there and be carrying us up and down. Let us have peace in this country.
That's the Pendulum this week. We thank you very much for watching the program. Do remember to join us at 3 p.m. next week for another interesting topic on the show. I am Ajibola Ojeshola. Bye for now.